Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a new lens from 7Artisans. It's a super wide angle 6mm f2 fisheye lens, and it's available for micro four thirds and APS-C cameras and various mounts like Fuji, Nikon, Canon, and Sony. And full disclosure, 7Artisans did send this lens out to me for review at no cost to myself, but I haven't been paid or sponsored for this video. No money has changed hands, and as always, I'll give you my honest and fair opinion. Alright, let's take a closer look at the lens itself, and as you can see we have a very large front bulbous element here. It's surrounded by a metal lens hood which is non-removable, and there are no filter rings here, so there's no filter support. The lens itself is an all-metal construction, feels very good in the hands, very well made. The aperture ring is clicked, and it is very nicely dampened in between each stop, starting at f2, going all the way to f16. And then on the back here, we have a very nicely dampened focusing ring, going from a minimum focusing distance of 0.1 meters all the way out to infinity. And then around to the back, we do have an all-metal lens mount, but there are no electrical contacts here, so you will need to transfer or enter EXIF data into your camera if that's available. And also there's no weather sealing, so there's no little rubber lip here or anything, and I wouldn't expect that at this price point. Now the lens feels well made and quite substantial. It comes in at 418 grams, so it's not a super lightweight lens, but it's not excessively heavy by any means. And they've also included an all-metal lens hood here, which is just compression here, but it stays on very nicely. It never came off when I was out in the field. I asked 7Artisans to send me the micro four thirds version of this lens, and I mounted it here to my OM Systems OM3. So those are all of the pictures that you'll be seeing, and the testing I did will be with this camera and lens combination. As far as the handling goes, the lens is pretty short, so it is fairly well balanced even on this camera, and if you have a camera with a more substantial grip, the balance should be just fine. The aperture ring being here in the front, again, it's very nicely dampened and clicked. However, the focusing ring is very close to the camera body here, so it took me a little while to get used to focusing a lens this close to the back of the body, but once I got a feel for it, it was no problem at all. Now, speaking to the optical design and performance of this lens, we have 10 elements in 8 groups, and we have 9 aperture blades, which gave me very nice sun stars, as you'll see later. And there's no spherical elements, so the autofocus areas are very smooth when you're doing minimum type focusing, where you can get any kind of a blurry background with such a wide angle lens. That said, the overall sharpness is very good, especially in the center, even wide open at f2. It improves a little when you get to 2.8, but I shot a lot of times with this lens between f5.6 and f8. But all of the night shots that you're going to see in the review here were shot at f2, and again, I thought the performance was excellent. Now, speaking to any defects or flaws in the optical design, I did notice some chromatic aberration, like the purple and green fringing that you get, particularly wide open, but it was pretty minor and very easily fixed in post-processing. Also, if you're thinking about doing wide field astrophotography like the Milky Way or star trails, things like that, the lens did really well, particularly in the center. Again, the stars were pin sharp. I didn't notice any coma. It was really only towards the edges I did notice the coma, where the stars start to get a little bit of an eggshell shape, but stopping down to like f4 or f5.6 seemed to get rid of that. Unfortunately, I don't live in an area where the skies are very dark. I live near the city, so I didn't get too many opportunities to do any kind of astrophotography, but you know, the little bit that I did get in my backyard, the lens did seem to perform well. So as you can see, the lens has a super wide angle field of view. On the micro four thirds, it's roughly about 165 degrees. On APS-Cs like the Fujifilm, it's going to be closer to 220 degrees, which basically sees behind the camera. And you can get some really interesting shots with that. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to demonstrate that. But to get those panoramic type shots that you saw, it was basically just I took a single shot and just chopped the top and the bottom off in a crop, and I got this really nice panoramic view. Now you may have noticed that some of the images didn't look like they had any fisheye distortion, and other images had plenty of fisheye distortion. And there's a couple of things at play. One, and first and foremost, is really you need to make sure your camera is level, both horizontally and also the pitch forward and back. And if you level the camera, your horizon, and also your pitch, you're really going to minimize the barrel distortion that you get from a fisheye lens. Number two is distance, right? Particularly the panoramas, a lot of the subjects are very far away. And in those situations, if you get your pitch right and your horizon, the images will almost look rectilinear. Now you can correct for them in post-processing. Like if you take a look at the bridge here, there's plenty of fisheye distortion here because I'm relatively close to the bridge. But then if I correct it in post-processing, we get a nice rectilinear image. Now, a fisheye lens is not for everyone, and certainly it's not your everyday lens, but I know a lot of professionals that like to use fisheye lenses in their event photography, like at weddings and parties, just to kind of sprinkle the portfolio a little bit with some fun images. And for me personally, I like to use it as a creative outlet to create images that you really can't do with any other lens or even in post-processing. So I think 7Artisans did a great job with this lens. It retails for just $199, and I think it's a great alternative to the many of the other fisheye lenses out there that are much more expensive. So I'll have my affiliate links down below if you want to check out the latest pricing. But I hope you enjoyed this review. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.